Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a more GT Sport, where today we are here at Tokyo in the Honda Civics. Yes, this is probably going to be quite an interesting little combo that we're going to be taking on here today on GT Sport. It is the Civic Type R EK from 1998, and unfortunately for the first race of the day we do start right from the rear of the field. It's been quite a while since I drove anything like this on GT Sport, I'll be honest with you, so we'll wait and see as to how this goes. I've also done very few laps around this version of Tokyo. I don't really know any of the layouts of Tokyo, in all honesty, on GT Sport, but we got off to a fairly poor getaway. Perhaps traction control would be the way forward, I'm not 100% sure, but as we head down towards turn 1, obviously I did a few practice laps, obviously I knew where I was going, everything like that, but it's, yeah, definitely looking like you always see on GT Sport, that it was very much going to be a race of trying to stick in the slipstream here, as you can see, just behind a couple of Frenchmen as we head down in towards the tunnel here, basically all over the back of the guy just in front of us here, pretty much pushing him along. Obviously, if you do that on GT Sport, it does a bit of a weird rubber banding effect, where you almost get pushed back as well there. But coming towards the top of the hill there, you can see he makes a bit of a mistake on the way through there, and unfortunately for me, that costs us a whole lot more than it cost him there. But we'll continue on, still just about in the slipstream here. It looks like us bottom three have sort of fell off the rear of the field at the moment, so we'll wait and see as to how much we lose from that, as we just graze the wall as we head through the next tunnel section of the lap. The guy just up in front picks himself, I think that's a 5-second penalty for hitting the wall there, so that's basically going to be him out of this race, if I'm not mistaken there. You can see a lot of concertina up at the moment between the Frenchman and I think it was a Belgian just in front of him here. You can see, just double check that we've got enough room over the guy with the penalty there, and yeah, we now slot ourselves up into P11 of the race there, in towards the final couple of corners of the opening lap, and we have just about survived. There's even more contact going on just up in front of us here. We're going to try to look around the outside of the Frenchman there, but unfortunately it wouldn't quite work out in my favour in the end. I think it was another Belgian. No, it was a German, sorry. That time round, it gets caught out, put in the wall, and then I had nowhere to go on the outside there. So just the wrong place at the wrong time here. And yet now we're about 1.2 seconds off, so we are now out of the slipstream here. But there's even more chaos kicking off at the moment there, as everyone just concertinas up around each other here. We're making contact with the wall before we even get into the tunnel. This car, you've really got to get it dialed in to make sure that it goes where you want it to here. I was accidentally as well using my F1 rim, so I was struggling a bit to get the rotation through the front end. Obviously with this thing being a front wheel drive, you don't really want to be using an open wheel rim with it, in all honesty here, but it doesn't work out too badly on GT Sport there. And a couple of people now with their penalties, we are going to move up a couple of places thanks to that. They're back up now into P9 actually of the race there, just ahead of an Italian there, as we head now down in towards the second tunnel once again here. It is really satisfying when you get it hooked up around this track, but really difficult to do so. It was very good fun, actually, in sort of a weird, difficult way as well here. But moving on though to lap 3, you can see we're now all over the back of the Frenchman once again here. There's been even more contact on the road there. A German going very slowly as we head down in towards the tunnel, and nowhere to go, just giving the Frenchman a bit of a punt as we head down in towards the tunnel once again here. As you can see, all over the back of him at the moment here. We've got a Belgian and I think there's a Greek guy going side by side just up the road there. One of them's going to go into the wall ever so strongly there. It looks like, yeah, the Greek guy hasn't quite got the run off the exit there, so we're going to be able to go right around the outside. There's flashing lights coming up everywhere at the moment, and now you can see we've got a very good run on the Frenchman here. Thought about having a look around the outside, but tried to brake actually a little bit early there. Unfortunately, he parked it on the inside as well. That didn't really give me anywhere to go now as we head in towards the final sector of the lap here. You can see still all over the back of this Frenchman. We've been stuck behind him all race long so far here, as now you can see the Greek guy all over the back of us once again here. But onto the final lap we go now, still all over the back of this Frenchman here. But we're going to try and look up the inside as we head up in towards the next couple of corners. Are we going to be able to make this move work nice and late on the brakes there? Just about parked on the inside. He tries to turn in despite us being there, and we now move ourselves up into P6 of the race here. Only 12-man lobbies, but yeah, we've now moved our way up halfway through the order here as we now head down in towards the second tunnel here. We've got now the Italian just behind us as well. So hopefully we can try and keep it nice and tidy there. He skims the wall just behind us, and that's going to give us a little bit of breathing room that we really, really needed in this race here. Still about a second off the Belgian just in front, but obviously anything can happen around this track. You know, the walls are absolutely deadly as well, so we'll continue pushing with just a few corners to go, see if we can try and get anything else out of this race. But I think it's going to be a bit too little too late there. Make a big mistake through in towards the penultimate corner there, and luckily I didn't actually get a penalty from that. Unfortunately though, no, actually the Italian wouldn't quite be able to sneak up the inside there, so we do hold on to P6 at the end of the first race there. I'm really quite happy with that in the end, and picking up a little bit of driver rating as well. Like I mentioned in the last video, we are trying to get ourselves up to our A license at the moment. We're sat really close, but just not quite able to get close enough to make the gains at the moment there. But yeah, P6 in the first race of the day. I would quite happily take that. 6 places made up as well there. And yeah, we learned a lot from that first race of the evening. But we will get ready then to go again for the second race of the night. And this time round, I found myself up a lot higher in qualifying there. Up now into 5th place as we are ready once again on the grid. A lot of familiar names, I think. Obviously, we were just doing these races back to back, so most people we weren't going to be racing yet again here. But you can see getting ready then on the grid. The 5 lights are coming on now. This time round, we tried to modulate the throttle and then still just lit up the front wheels and just got an awful getaway. So we're going to lose a place straight off the bat there. Try to duck into the slipstream pretty much instantly there. As you can see, the Belgian now trying to look around the outside as we head in towards the first proper corner of the lap here. We're probably going to try and give him a bit of a squeeze on the exit there. And yeah, we just about get in front of him. A little bit of contact, I think. But yeah, now we move ourselves back up into P6 of the race. You can see everyone in front of us opt in for this sort of white cream coloured Civic. It seemed to be the quickest. Oh no, I know that's just got absolutely nothing to do with anything. But yeah, perhaps the white is a lighter paint job on this car. But you can see heading up in towards the top of the hill here. There's a lot of contact going on there. I think that's a Spaniard getting very sideways there. The Italian picks up a 1-second penalty as well there. But throughout all of that, he's basically just going to muscle himself up into P2 at the moment there. We're going to try and look around the outside of this German as we head down the hill there. We're going to slot just in behind him. Try to break a little bit early. Go for a bit of a switchback potentially as we head in towards the next couple of corners here. Don't want to be going for full sends in through this next S section here. It's just so difficult to try and get it hooked up when you're by yourself, never mind side by side with another car here. And you know, this thing is so momentum based as well. You've really just got to try and keep it going as quickly as possible here. Is now down in towards the final couple of corners of the opening lap there. We do get the front end pointed in quite nice and tidily here, but unfortunately just ran into the back of the German in through the next couple of corners there. The Italian, no, it's another German actually, just going to completely put us both into the wall there. I tried to get back past him and he blocks us on the exit of the corner there, so clearly he's being very aggressive in this race. So I'm going to give him the flash on the lights, you know what you're doing, mate, because I wasn't too happy with that one here as we head now back down through turn 1. You can see just trying to push the absolute limits towards the walls there. The other German makes a bit of a mistake. There's going to be even more contact between the pair of them there. We're going to slip around the outside of the one German here. Can we potentially get a bit of a run on the second as well? Obviously the Italian just up the road has got that penalty as well that he's going to have to serve in towards the next couple of corners here. You can see, yeah, all over the back of this German once again here. As you can see, breaking down in towards the next couple of corners here. Try to get as best a run as possible here. And we have got a slightly better run than him this time round, so perhaps we can try and get a little bit of a run in towards the next couple of corners here. The Italian going very defensive there. We tried to Riccardo Zonta him down in towards the next couple of corners there, and unfortunately for me, once again, I end up being the one that gets put into the wall there and completely screwed out of position as now we head up the hill once again here. Yeah, not too sure why I seem to have, you know, been so unlucky with being at the wrong place at the wrong time in these cars, but perhaps I, yeah, just need to learn a bit more on GT Sport, and obviously that will come through playing the game a bit more as well here, as you can see now. But once again, the Italians picked up another penalty. Not too sure how that's happened there. We make a bit of a mistake in towards the final couple of corners there. A bit of a Constantina effect there as we accidentally squeezed the Belgian out a bit more than I was intending there. Tried to get a run on the Dutchman out of the final couple of corners here, and you can see now third and fourth, just starting to pull away a little bit at the moment as we head down in towards turn 1 once again there. And yeah, like I said, you know, you've got to be in the slipstream as best as possible there. The Dutchman completely ruins his run through turn 1. We, yeah, compact that issue. I think it's probably the best way to describe it there, running him out wide and accidentally put him into the wall just a bit there. As the Italian now, once again, serving yet another penalty there. We're going to be able to get past him and now up into P4 of the race. And as we head down in towards the final couple of corners, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to get back past the aggressive Germans, but I would get very, very close in through the final corner of the race we go there. And it looks like the Belgian very, very close as well. That doesn't quite get the run out of the final corner there. So a couple of good results, P4 and P6, despite being ranked as the lowest driver in those lobbies there. And yeah, that was quite good fun as well at the end of the day. Just something a little bit different there on GT Sport. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Obviously, if you liked the video, do get yourself subscribed. Obviously, if you didn't, you know why that button is as well. But yeah, that'll do us for this one then, guys. And hopefully, I will see you back next time. We will be back for more of the Manufacturers series.